Hey, Forge Chronicles, how y'all doing out there? So you know where I'm at. So look, so I was talking to my ex yesterday. Now, when I started this journey over a year ago, I was having a real hard time in the very beginning with doing the work on myself for the simple fact that while I was doing the work on myself, I was entertaining a lot of negative conversations. Like, and don't get me wrong, because I used to be one of the main people doing the negative conversation. Okay. Like me and my girlfriends, we always had to bounce stuff off each other about what this man did and who did this and what the kids is doing and blah blah. And it was not positive. That's when I realized that the reason why we do that, and I know everybody ain't gonna want to hear this, and I'm sorry that I have to say it, but it's just the truth. When we entertain a lot of negative talk, it's because of a place that's within us that it helps us to deal with all the shit that's going on inside of us when we hear somebody else's negative stuff. Because we bounce a lot of negative stuff off them, they bounce their negative stuff off us. And it's not healthy for the simple fact we don't get nothing done except complain. And then, I'm going to be honest with you, when you talk about your spouse all the time or your other friends or your children, you end up resenting them. Because you're talking about the issues that you have with them. And I'm not saying you're not supposed to have issues. Because we all gonna be different and we're not gonna be on the same page every 5 minutes. But when you talk about it, you basically putting that out into the universe to come back and make it amplify worse than what it is. So, like I said, I had friendships that were like that. It's toxic. It's not that that person is bad, because I wasn't bad, but I was toxic. And I had to cry and complain and this and that and this job and my job and he did and she did and they said. You know why? It's so easy to look at everything that's going bad around you and talk about everybody and talk about your spouse and your kids and your this and your that. Guess why? Because you never have to look at yourself. When I started looking at myself, I was like, damn, I got a lot of shit to do. I don't even need to be worried about nobody else. And I explained that too when I had started, I can't have the same conversations every 5 minutes, because guess what the same conversations is? The same conversations. Complaining, nagging, fussing. Guess what it's doing? Nothing. Putting more out in the universe, and you wonder why your marriage like that, and you wonder why your relationship with your kids like that, and you wonder why your relationship with your girlfriends is like that. Everybody talking negative. How's some positive coming out of that? How do you get out of a relationship with one person and it was all negative talk, and then you think you're going to have this rosy, sunny, beautiful relationship after that, but you're still negative, and you're still afraid, and you're still hurt, and you're still damaged from the last relationship? Baby, all you're going to do is bring more drama in your life. So like I said, my ex called me yesterday, and you know what? I am so thankful for this, because this man right here, I done known him for a lot of years, and we known each other when we was both real damaged. We never talked about feelings, emotions. We never even said we even liked each other. We was messed around for 3 years. Never was in a relationship, none of that. But let me say you this. When he saw me on Porch Chronicles and we tried to make this thing work again, he knew I was totally different. I'm in my feelings now. I feel them, I deal with them, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, sometimes it get on my nerves, but it's way, way better because it keeps you a lot. When you get all that off of you, you don't have to repress and you don't have to cry and be all, you don't got to do all that. You just tell it like it is right then. You feel them emotions and you let that go. Okay? So that's what I did. And he saw this. He saw me totally different in those, I think we lived together maybe 7 months, maybe something like that. Let me tell you this. He called me and said, I need to talk to you. I said, what's up? I noticed we hadn't talked for a few weeks, but I don't bother him and he don't bother me. We live in 2 separate places, cool, blah, blah. He was like, I just need to tell you this. Now, this man right here don't talk about no feelings. I ain't never known him to talk about feelings. He don't do all that. He real quiet. He ain't finna bother nobody. He gonna go to work and he gonna cook. That's about all. Hey, he ain't finna bother nobody. I promise you. So he say, I was mad at you. And I said, well, talk to me. What's going on? He was like, I'm just being honest with you. He was like, that's why I ain't called and talked to you in a few weeks. He was like, fuck that. I don't want to talk to her no more. I'm mad at her. And I was like, what? Mad for what? Because I hurt him. You know what? We forget men is just as vulnerable as we are. And this man right here, and I'm going to be honest 100 and keep it 100. One thing I ain't got to do is lie for what? Lie for what? This man, before we started this relationship, real talk, he said, I'm going to ask you one thing. All I'm going to ask you is one thing. He said, don't hurt me. And I hurt him. See, that's what I'm trying to tell you. People going to let you down, but you got to you got to keep it 100. I'm not perfect. I let him down. I told him the truth. And, I didn't lie about nothing. So it is what it is. It didn't feel good, but I wasn't going to continue to lie about nothing because I can't do that. I can't even remember lies, so I don't try to do it. So he said, but I thought about that thing when I broke my foot. He was like, you really took good care of me. We wasn't doing nothing at all. When he broke his foot, we was just in the same house. Man, I got up early morning. I cooked his breakfast. I did what I needed to do for him because he was broke. He broke his foot. I'm not going to treat him no different kind of way because, like I said, we didn't have no issues at all. We just didn't have no chemistry. So, but that didn't stop me from wanting to take care of him. He always going to be my friend. For him being able to call me and say, I was just going to not ever talk to you again because you hurt me. He was like, but I got over it and I just wanted to talk to you about it. And I was like, wow, that was a blessing. He don't do that. Just us being around each other and him seeing me living this way, me doing the therapy, me getting unconscious and getting it right. I even have, like we've had one argument and we both was unconscious. We was talking to each other. Oh, my God. The way we should have when we was being unconscious. Oh, my. I said, we can't do that no more. We can't talk like that to each other no more. We can't never do that again. We never have. And I'm thankful that every time I started being unconscious or I started to fuss a little bit around, he's like, you know what? You're not being conscious right now. I was like, you know what? You're right about that. See, when you be around people, that stuff that you do falls off on other people. My son thanking me the other day, I was so grateful for him because he has anxiety issues when it comes to stuff happening around him. He was like, Mom, thank you for teaching me about consciousness. My ex being like, I was upset with you. He talked about it. He put it out there, and then he was like, nah, but I ain't want to do that. He was like, because you ain't been that good to me. You just told me what you needed to tell me. And that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. That's what I'm saying. Everything you around, if you're around a whole bunch of negative talk, guess what that is? Guess what's going to follow you? If you're around trying to do positive and get that stuff straight and fix you, it's gonna fall on other people. Everything you do fall on the people around you. I love you, Porch Chronicles. Have a good rest of your day.